Salutations to the Truth Core, whoever and wherever you may be on the planet. I'm here today, January 5th, 2021, with a PSA. That would be a public sanity announcement. I just learned, and I'm providing the link in the description, via an official document from the pharmaceutical company Moderna, that what they're offering by way of an injection is not the V word. I'm not going to say the V word. I'm going to say injection. So the injection coming from Moderna, by their own admission, from an in-house document, they define as an operating system. So what they're actually offering the public is a product, and they're saying that the product is an operating system. It's not like an operating system, it is. So it's as if I came to you and said, I see you've got a computer there, a laptop. Maybe it's like mine, maybe it's a MacBook Pro. How about I offer you an operating system for that machine? Here, I'll insert it for you. And in that situation, you might reply, well, hold on there. This machine already has an operating system. So what's the point of installing another operating system? Pretty wild stuff, huh? So that's the current proposition. That's the current product on offer from Moderna. You know, it reminds me of something I heard many years ago. I think it was 6 or 7 years ago. A propaganda video came up, Transhumanist Propaganda, and it described advances, fabulous, wonderful advances in nanotechnology. And it described the creation of microscopic nanobots, which could be programmed by reference to the human genetic code so that they could detect and disable in the human body particular diseases. You see? So the video, of course, was loaded with the usual high production value presentation and flashy filming and persuasive voice. And it was saying, oh, great. Oh, happy day. In the near future, you'll be able to have these nanobots injected into your body, and they would go all around through your system, the blood, the cellular system, the lymph nodes, and they would run around through your entire body, and they would be able to detect illnesses and prevent illnesses and repair your body if you became ill. I'm reminded of that video. Well, of course. It's the same hype, isn't it? It's the same claim. Moderna wants to inject you with a medical operating system which corresponds exactly to what is commonly known as the immune system. So you already have an immune OS operating in your body, but forget about that. It's just something that nature threw out randomly. It's been operating for millions and millions of years, keeping the human species alive. Forget that. Forget about nature. The transhumanists have something better than nature. They have this biomedical technology now, and they can provide you with an immune system artificially constructed in a laboratory. So forget about your naturally installed immune system and take this one. That's the offer. Gotta love these transhumanists, don't you? They're so brilliant, and they're so kind, and they really are doing everything possible to make life better on this planet. Those wonderful, wacky transhumanists. So, interesting news. How you doing out there? Just asking for a friend. Because actually, I don't care. You know, it can be said that there are 3 magnificent words in the English language, and in other languages too. I think it comes out as 3 words. Je vous aime. I love you. And those are indeed 3 wonderful words, and you don't have to say them often. In fact, it's better if you don't. But when you say them, when you say them to someone, or someone says, I love you, to you, it's a great moment. But I hold the view that those 3 words need to be balanced by 3 other words which complement them and which are equally magnificent. And those 3 other words are, I don't care. So the fact that you love doesn't mean that you can't not care. In fact, oddly, paradoxically, true love allows you to not care. So how are you doing out there? I wonder, oh yes indeed I do, if you might be wondering what's coming next in 2021. Now, it's pretty clear, I'd say, that the transhumanists and the globalist overlords, they're of course one and the same, those billionaires and millionaires who entitle themselves to tell you how you shall live and how you must live according to their great agenda, the Great Reset, I'd say it's pretty clear that they intend to inject everyone on the planet. Haven't they said so? And so you might be wondering if this is coming and if it's going to come to you personally in your world, in your personal reality, in your actual life. Is it going to come to you? Is that situation going to happen? The threat of that happening is huge. It has been broadcast across the planet now for months and months, non-stop, from every media platform in the world and from every government. Not everyone. There are some countries that are just ignoring this bullshit, by the way. You don't hear much about them, but they do exist. So let's take a look for a moment at what might happen in that situation. And if you don't mind, I'll propose a little arrogation that goes like this. Oh, there you are. There's the team in their suits with their equipment. Is there someone there who is armed? That's possible. And the team is standing in front of you and says, well, we're here to inject you. How do you respond? Well, you could try this. I'm talking about arrogation here. Talking back to the authorities. You could try this. You could say, I see. So you have a product for me. It's a product of a pharmaceutical company. And you're offering a product produced by that company. Well, this scenario could play out in a couple of ways. Let's say the team is there and they're offering you a free sample. Companies do that sometimes. Here, free sample of our toothpaste. On the other hand, they might be making a straightforward offer for you to purchase their product. Here's our product. It's contained in this device with a needle. And if you pay us a certain sum of money, you can purchase our product. How are you going to respond? Well, let's just change the scenario to any other product. Let's say a lawn chair. The team comes up to me and they have a lawn chair and they put it in front of me and they say, here's our new model, our special lawn chair. Would you like to sit in it and try it out? How would you respond? You're free to say, no, I don't want to try out your lawn chair. I'm not going to sit in it. Or maybe they come to you and they say, do you want to buy this lawn chair? And you can say, no, it doesn't interest me. I don't want your product. Of course, the third possibility is that they will say, you must buy this lawn chair. You must give us the money, the price of the lawn chair, and you must sit in it. And we're going to force you to do that. I'll get to that third scenario a little further down the line. Now let me play it out a little more. What is the company claiming about the lawn chair? Well, suppose they say, this lawn chair has really special properties. If you sit down and recline in the chair for half an hour, it will take 5 years off your life. However, in this case, because it's so special, and we have the limited edition, we're not going to offer you a free trial of the lawn chair so that you can see if our claim is true or not. No, we can only offer to sell it to you. So pay us this sum of money, take the lawn chair, sit in it for half an hour, and it'll take 5 years off your life. Would you buy that lawn chair? But wait, it gets better. Suppose there's a different claim. They say, the sales team says, this lawn chair is a miraculous tool of health. And if you purchase it, there is no money back guarantee, by the way, but it's a sure thing. Trust us. If you purchase it and you sit in this lawn chair for half an hour, you will never be able to give leprosy to anyone else. So our product has a special value attached to it. You're not just buying it for yourself, but you're buying it to protect other people. And wouldn't it be selfish of you if you didn't buy this lawn chair? Because then, well, you could give leprosy to other people. You could be, in fact, we're going to say that you are a public health hazard, endangering the lives of other people unless you buy this lawn chair. I'm sure that you have observed by now that one of the claims and demands framed as a threat that comes along with the current injection regime is that you're selfish if you don't take the injection. Because even if you don't want it for yourself, by not taking it, you are putting the lives of others at risk. How many times have you heard that argument stated openly or implied? Thousands of times, if you listen to the mainstream media, or if you listen to politicians and the transhumanists who are promoting the Soviet regime, the final and consummate iteration of communism. Whenever I consider that threat, it makes me think of, Minority Report, that film based on a story by Philip K. Dick. What's it about? It's about PreCrime. So, in the current situation, you are accused. You are not just accused, You have, in the eyes of the transhumanists, been convicted of PreCrime by not taking the injection they offer. You're committing the crime of putting the lives of other people at risk. You see, this is how this diabolically clever program has been designed. So Moderna themselves have come out publicly with the document saying that they have a DOS, a diabolic operating system, to install in your body. It is, in fact, a biochemically, artificially constructed immune system, or the equivalent to an immune system. And they don't care, in their way, which is not a loving way, they don't care if you already have a perfectly fine immune system, which is the factory installation of the human species and has been running successfully for countless millions of years. They don't care about that because transhumanists always have something better to offer, don't they? So the injection you get of the DOS, the diabolic operating system from Moderna, apparently, according to them, will override your natural immune system, and it will be much better. It's like telling someone who can walk perfectly that if they put on prosthetic devices on their legs, sophisticated devices constructed in a robotics laboratory, if they put on these prosthetic devices, they will be able to walk. I'm telling you that you'll be able to walk really well with these prosthetic legs. even though you walk perfectly well just the way you are. Such a deal, such an offer. Who could refuse such an offer? Well, it may come to the point in the lives of some people, including yours truthfully, when I face that moment, the moment to refuse. So let me talk about that just for a bit. How would I face the moment to refuse? This is how I would do it, just according to what I've said so far. I would look at the team holding the product, standing in front of me, and I would say, well, I don't want to sample your product, and I don't want to buy your product either. I don't care if it's a lawn chair or an injection. I don't want it. I refuse to buy your product or sample it. So what happens next? Well, there is that possibility. There is that possible future scenario contained in the threat that might happen to some people in this year 2021. In that situation, someone would accompany the team, the muscle, and someone might be armed. And they might use the force of a weapon to force you to accept the product. That's possible. Have you thought about that? Have you thought about what you would do? I know exactly what I would do. I would look those people in the eyes, say there's a team of 3 people accompanied by someone with a gun or a taser. Now I would look at them with a steady and cold indifference, and I would ask them, well, are you willing to risk your life to force me to accept your product? Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to face death in this very moment? If you are not, then I would just walk away. But if you are willing to risk your life, then go ahead and make your move. Now, it's possible, of course, that those who are enforcing the Soviet system might taser you, and while you're out, they might give you the injection. How's that for a horrible situation? But let's just say that the team at that moment gives the signal to the individual with the gun and pulls out the gun and points it at you so that they can force the injection on you. What do you do then? Well, what I would do is go for them and do as much damage as I could to all of them, acting with murderous intent. Of course, I would be sure I have on my person the means to fulfill that intent. And if I could, I would kill all of them right then and there. Or, if I was killed in the process of doing that, then so be it. We all have to die someday. And I wouldn't mind at all dying in that way, though I'd prefer not to. I accept the possibility. I think it's a remote possibility, but you know as well as I do that what I'm describing could well happen to some people in this current year. So, how does it look to you? Do you wonder sometimes if it's going to go to that? That is, of course, the ultimate threat. And it's quite obvious. It's out in the open. People all around the world are being exposed to that threat all the time, every day. But you know, there's something about threats that I always like to say. If you're going to make a threat, if you're going to threaten somebody, you better be able to back it up. The magnitude of the threat coming from the agents of the Soviet system and the Great Reset is enormous, or appears to be. But can they actually back up that threat? In some cases, in some instances, sure, they probably can. But on the whole, remember, this is their end game. They're going for a complete takeover. On the whole, can they back up that threat? I don't think so. I don't see that happening. In the first place, there is an untold number of people around this world, including doctors and nurses and people in the health professions, who have openly stated that they will not take the injection. You heard about that? And there's a lot of pushback. And there are a lot of ordinary people, like myself, who have openly stated they will not take it. So how can they possibly implement that threat on the scale they intend? In my view, they can't. They've overplayed their hand, and it's impossible for them. It will be impossible for them to back up that threat. Anyway, those are my personal reflections coming to you in a public sanity announcement in the first days of 2021. Enough said. And I'll be seeing you in the beauty to come.